and how it's affecting people. But as a person that's done at least some chair historian work, if you will, and some collegiate studies on the matter of immigration and imperialism and so forth, I see a lot of people get up in arms and they're blaming the current administration. But this has been going on prior to the current administration. It's been going on for since the inception of the country. And this clear, obvious rotation of issues: attacks on blacks, attacks on Jews, attacks on Latinos or immigrants. Oh, well, not immigrants, attacks on Latinos, minus from Europe and so forth. Um, Maybe from Southeast Asia, but that's mostly in a particular part of the USA. But it's mostly revolved around those three groups, right? Primarily blacks, Jews, and people from the southern part of the Americas, right? And it's this big fuss about it, or surprise. But it's a tool that's been used, for lack of a better word, as old as time, or Arab people, or Muslim people, right? It's always one of those things. And you've seen this. I've been seeing this at least since I was going to college in the early 2000s. Just with Bush, it was this group, that group, this group, that, and they keep doing the rotational thing and the attacks on the people, right? So you see people get up in arms and do the whole tribalistic thing, and it's like when does critical thinking actually happen? The age of enlightenment eons ago already occurred, but people are still into their whole tribalistic mindset. I bring this video up because to me, is it can be a little bit disheartening, if you will, to see that people have chosen as a collective not to evolve mentally and to gravitate towards this inbox mentality. And while the current people being attacked, which is people of Latin descent, uh, in the national scale, it it's like it's clearly a divide and conquer to mass from maybe a particular issue that was being discussed prior to it, right? A very gross one. And it makes you think, like, when are people going to share notes? When are people going to stop racing against one another? This illusion based off of pseudoscience of division. It's been proven factually, scientifically, that there is no race. That color is actually an illusion based off of the division that the human organism is able to see from in this current realm. But yet people still assess over this, leaning more to their reptilian mind instead of their prefrontal cortex. And so it does really, again, bear that question, maybe in a paraphrase form: when does change actually occur? When like when sexism with men versus women, and the whole feminism nonsense, to the whole uh, thing of one gender wanting to be one over the other. Uh, like women wanting to be men is like, well, anyone that studies the yin and the yang knows that the feminine principle is the strongest principle. Hence, that's where life comes out of, right? Out of the womb. And this, again, is all written. It's not even an opinion per se. However, people still gravitate towards the duality of things. And it prompts me to ask, you know, I'm watching Minneapolis, and the killings, and I just saw the nurse who supported veterans. And I mean, I was overseas, and I've seen the vets go through, and then you're done with the whole uh, smear campaign. These smear campaigns have been going on, for the longest time, and it's like people are marching, but when do they change? Well, you can physically attack people, and yeah, that can do something, perhaps. But what about changing your mindset? Because that's what brings about all of this. The mindset. It's all in the mind. The mind dictates the action, right? So if you know something is wrong, you know it. It's in the Quran, it's in the Bible, it's in the Torah. You know that it's all an illusion, but yet you go along with it. What does that say about you? And so it's like if you don't like what you see, change your mindset. And I can not, it's easy to say, right? Then you have where you're brought up, your parents, how they are, your environment, that all influences your mindset, right? But what if, just as you put the conscious effort to march and protest, you put the conscious effort to change your mindset, to focus on what you can control, to share notes with your fellow human, right? To stop racing, to start thinking, to really look critically at what's going on, why is it going on, and for what reason. Is pay being increased throughout various sectors? Are rights being taken? What's actually going on? As that old 60s song said, what's going on, right? What's going on? And once you look at it, right, you really actually think, not get emotional, not be tribalistic, not focus on less than 1% of the human experience. You start to see that perhaps if I change my mindset and the way I behave, and I do that in a large scale, then what's occurring has to change by default. Less marching, less fighting, less racing, more sharing notes. Because with that, knowledge is power, right? Knowledge is power. It enhances your growth, your thought process, your mental agility, and it also makes you feel more whole again, more full. It gets you to look at things not just from your lens, but the lens of others. And that's no easy task, but I think it's something to aspire to be higher, to see the dysfunction, the dysregulation of economics in Central and South America, to see the wars, the inner wars that's being brought up, people being disowned involuntarily. What brings about people to want to come to a place where there's so much division? Well, maybe that place causes division, maybe not. But there's a lot to think about. There's a lot to unpack. And I don't think that comes from warring or letting your emotions go out of control and be dysregulated. And that's easier said than done to regulate your emotions. It can be, especially in the heat of the moment. And there's so much going on. But I think with a change of mindset, thoughts, actions, words, and deeds, we all can come together and see that we're all in this together, and it's all sick game to extract your resources and energy. I bring up that question again. When are we going to share notes? Stop racing. Perhaps that time is now. Till next time.